أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين بارئ الخلائق أجمعين، وصلى الله على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد
وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
أما بعد، فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى في كتابه المجيد وقوله الحق وهو أصدق القائلين. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل أغير الله أتخذ وليا فاطر السماوات والأرض وهو يطعم ولا يطعم. قل إني أمرت أن أكون أول من أسلم ولا تكونن من المشركين. صدق الله العلي العظيم.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
Say, shall I take a guardian besides Allah, the originator of the heavens and the earth, and he feeds others and is not himself fed? Say, I am commanded to be the first who submits himself, and you should not be of the polytheists. Last few nights we've been discussing some issues of our beliefs, and we have been referring to some of the beginning verses of Surah Al-An'am. This is the verse 14 of Surah Al-An'am, which was revealed in Makkah and deals primarily with the three issues of Tawheed, Risalat and Qiyamah, Ba'ad. So in that context, if you read that surah, you will understand, appreciate that this surah, which came down all at once according to many Mufassirin, and we are living in a society surrounded by, non-Islamic and atheistic ideas and beliefs. So it is, relevant for us as well. Last night, in the light of Ziyarat of Imam Al-Hadi alayhi salam, Ziyarat Ghadiriyya, which Imam alayhi salam recited in Najaf al-Ashraf on the day of Ghadir, which has Manaqib and Fadail of Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam, which for us it is very important to read. You can just search it online, you'll find it with translation. Ziyara Qadiriyya, Imam Ali Naqi alayhi salam. We should make use of the resources we have nowadays online. It was a time when none of this was available. Many books are being translated into English, and the ziyarat are some of the best resources on the system of beliefs and our values. Ziyarat is a great resource for all of us to benefit from. In one section of this Ziyarat of Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam of the day of Ghadir, Imam al-Naqi, our 10th Imam, in Najaf al-Ashraf, he says, Assalamu alayka ya Amir al-Mu'mineen. عبدت الله مخلصا وجاهدت في الله صابرا وجدت بنفسك محتسبا وعملت بكتابه واتبعت سنة نبيه. All these qualities of Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam are important for his followers. For us to call ourselves Muhib or Shia to Amir al-Mu'mineen means that we should be copying our Imam in his qualities. There are many that I will mention here. Salam be upon you, O leader of believers, commander of believers. Abadt Allah, you obeyed Allah with sincerity. And you struggled and you fought in the path of Allah for the sake of Allah, sabiran. Sabiran means with istiqamat, steadfastness. وَجُدْتَ بِنَفْسِكَ مُحْتَسِبًا. And you very generously gave your life and everything you had, muhtasiban, in the hisab of Allah, put all the hardships and pain and torment and difficulties that you encounter, you put it all in the account of Allah. Allah, for you it's all okay. You know? And he was not only sabiran, he was shakiran. You know? وَعَمِلْتَ بِكِتَابِهِ. You acted upon Quran. You were Quran and Natiq, Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam. He was the living Quran. So see, people who have distanced themselves from Amir al-Mu'mineen, they will never understand Quran. Because the Quran is a written book in black and white. It can be interpreted so many different ways. Amanu means what? Amal salihat means what? Salat means what? Wudu means what? There's so much disagreement. People have different interpretations. Those who do not attach themselves to the Holy Prophet and his house, alayhi salam, which means that they do not follow the hadith and ziyarat and the fadail and the ahkam of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. When a person, people who do not believe in these resources, do not believe in the hadith of Ahlul Bayt, when they read Quran, they don't get this meaning that you and I are getting out of this ziyarat, for example. They don't understand this. You see such clear manifestations of that nowadays. All around us. The fatwa of takfir, calling other Muslims kuffar, right? It is so, interesting and ajib, that the Khalifas they believe in, they when they talk about them, they talk about how they treated the Christians, that they were not mistreating the Christians, and here we are being mistreated. They are mistreating the Muslims. How this contradiction between their own Khalifas and them themselves? But that just shows that when you leave the household of Ahlul Bayt, you are all in dhulumatun ba'duha fawqa ba'z. They are all darkness, one layer of darkness upon another layer of darkness. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Alhamdulillah alladhi ja'alana min al-mutamassikin bi wilayati Amir al-Mu'mineen wal a'immati min ba'dihi. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Then it goes on and says, وَأَمَرْتَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَنَهَيْتَ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ وَاسْتَطَعْتَ مُبْتَغِيًا مَا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ رَاغِبًا فِيمَا وَعَدَ اللَّهِ لَا تَحْفِلْ بِالنَّوَائِبِ وَلَا تَهِنْ عِنْدَ الشَّدَائِدِ. You never showed any weakness in difficulties, in hardships. وَلَا تَحْجُمْ عَنْ مُحَارِبٍ أَفِكَ مَنْ نَسَبَ غَيْرَ ذَلِكَ إِلَيْكَ. A person who speaks in a language other than this about Amir al-Mu'mineen is only falsely accusing Imam alayhi salam with something that has nothing to do with him. Anyone who speaks about Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam other than the way he really was and the way we know from his words in Nahj al-Balagha, from what the Holy Prophet of Islam said about Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam, and what A'im al-Athhar or Sayyidah Fatima al-Zahra spoke about Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam. أَفِكَ مَنْ نَسَبَ غَيْرَ ذَلِكَ إِلَيْكَ وَافْتَرَى بَاطِلًا عَلَيْكَ. He's making up false things against Amir al-Mu'mineen. Anyone who believes Amir al-Mu'mineen said anything or did anything other than these, other than the way he is described in the language of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam, or how Quran refers to Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam, right, is only falsely accusing it. The worst of all, tuhmats is to give a tuhmat to wali of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The worst thing, slander, worst form of accusation, allegation, false allegation, is to accuse someone who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala appointed as the successor of Holy Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Wa anta al-qa'il, la taziduni kathratun nas hawli izzatan. And O Amir al-Mu'mineen, you said yourself. Imam Hadi al-Islam is speaking to his grandfather in Najaf al-Ashraf. He's saying, you said, you are the qa'il, anta al-qa'il, you are the one who said about yourself, la taziduni kathratun nasiha. When a lot of people are gathered around me, it does not increase my izzat. When a lot of people follow me, it does not increase my level or rank. Right? People, anyone, when they see a lot of followers, It gives them izzat. This izzat in the eyes of other people. Some people, right? وَلَا تُفَرِّقُنِي عَنِّي وَحْشَةً and وَلَا تَفَرُّقُهُمْ عَنِّي وَحْشَةً. Nor the opposite. If they all leave me, abandon me, it does not create any wahshat in my heart. I do not feel alone or lonely when I have no one to support me. Nor do I feel any glory in myself when I have a lot of people around me. This was the mind and the heart of Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wasalam. Salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
And if all the people left me, I would not be in any anguish. That means I would not feel myself mutadarri'an. You know, most people, if they find themselves alone, they start doubting themselves, you know. How is it that I am the only one? Why did the FBI come to question me? Must be something wrong with me. Why FBI knocked my door? Why I was stopped at the airport after I came back from Ziyarat of Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam? Next time I shouldn't go. Okay? I came back from Ziyarat of Hazrat Zainab Kubra Salamullah alayha and they stopped me at the airport for 4 hours. Bad. I made a mistake going to Ziyarat of Amir. Ask ourselves these questions, you know. Ask ourselves. A lot of plans we make are not around our values that we claim. We claim one set of values and do and practice something else. This is the difference between words and actions in our lives. Recite a salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
أَفَمَنْ كَانَ مُؤْمِنًا كَمَنْ كَانَ فَاسِقًا لَا يَسْتَوُونَ. Quran, أَفَمَنْ, a person who is a believer and a person who is a fasiq, mu'min, fasiq, two opposite, can never be equal. Wherever Ahl Iman, wherever mu'min is discussed in Quran, it is referring to Ali alayhi salam and awlad of Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wasalam. Allahumma salli ala
Muhammad wa ali.
أما الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات فلهم جنات المأوى نزلا بما كانوا يعملون. Anyone who is rewarded by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right, for his iman and amal salih in Jannatul Ma'wa, the top example, the perfect example and the complete example, the only complete example of those people are Amir al-Mu'mineen and Aimma after Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You see, the best of all creations of Allah is the Holy Prophet. Second best of all creations, Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam. The third best, very close to Amir al-Mu'mineen, is Siddiqatul Kubra Fatimah Al-Zahra sallallahu. And then we have Imamain al-Hasanain alayhi salam. Like Khamsat Alil Aba. These are the 5 personalities of Ashab al-Kisa. The Holy Prophet at the event of Mubayalah and perhaps other occasions as well, but at when Mubayalah they were leaving, Prophet brought them together under his mantle, Kisa, right? Allahumma ha'ula'i ahlu bayti. And you see the ayat, Ta'ala qul ta'alaw abna'ana wa abna'ukum wa anfusana wa anfusakum wa nisa'ana wa nisa'akum, right? The Prophet took with himself Anfusana. He took Ali alayhi salatu wasalam, Anfusana. He said, my life and my soul, just like myself, my soul, myself is Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam. Right? Could you find a fadilat like this for any other human being in history? That the Holy Prophet of Islam says, Naf Anfusana. And he did not take anyone else in place of Anfusana. That shows how close is the rank of Amir al-Mu'mineen to the Holy Prophet of Islam. That if you just take the issue of Risalat and knew that there will be no more Shariat after Holy Prophet, there will be no more books coming, there will be no more new deen coming after Rasulullah, more and a higher upgrade of deen. This is the last one. The rest is all the same between the Holy Prophet and Amir al-Mu'mineen. And how Amir al-Mu'mineen became Amir al-Mu'mineen? Because he copied the Holy Prophet in his life completely. Because he submitted, Ana abdum min abid Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa anta al-makhsus bi-ilm al-tanzil. You have been specifically chosen, Amir al-Mu'mineen, for the knowledge of Quran, tanzil, all that came. Wa hukm al-ta'wil, and all that, the way it is applied. The truth of revelation, the different levels of ta'wil of Holy Quran, right, are all in the heart of Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam. So if a person reads Quran, he says, okay, Tanzil says this, but what is the ta'wil? What is the real meaning of it? Who was it related to? How is it to be applied? What are the different levels of ma'ani and meanings of this verse? Because among the ta'wil of Quran are also different levels of muhkamat. One ta'wil relies on a higher level of ta'wil, that ta'wil relies on another higher level of ta'wil. Ahkamul muhkamat of Quran, that the highest of all muhkamat of Holy Quran is the wilayat of Muhammad wa ala Muhammad alayhi salatu Anta al-makhsus bi-ilm al-tanzil wa hukm al-ta'wil wa nass al-rasul. We believe that imamat is by appointment. Imamat is by nas, by appointment. No one becomes an imam because of the votes of the people. Just as no one can choose the Rasul of Allah, no one can choose Nabi, no one can choose an imam as well. It is only by appointment. And in the time of ghaibat that we are in right now, the leader of people, the Wali al-Faqih and Maraj Taqleed, right, their wilayat is also by appointment from Imam Akhir al-Zaman, Imam al-Mahdi alayhi salatu I'm saying this for a reason. Because Imam Ghazali says, Imam Ghazali is one place is trying to, argue with the Shia position. He says, well, you believe in Masoom Imam, where is the Masoom Imam today? That you believe the leader of the society should be Masoom, but your Imam is not in the society. He's ghaib, right? Actually, we are ghaib. But for the purpose of using this word, that the Imam over the people should be Masoom. Well, the Shia argument is not that Imam should be Masoom, which is a fact. Masoom is a fact. But we are arguing for this, that the Imam a person becomes is by appointment. Nassul Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And today the Imam is by the Nas of Holy Prophet. Nas means clear announcement, declaration and appointment by Rasulullah at Ghadir, where he announced all the Imams in Ghadir. And if Imam goes into ghaibat, which is also, he is still on earth in flesh and blood, right? But if he goes in ghaibat because of the attitude of the people and the zulm of the taghut, if Imam has to go into ghaibat, occultation, still the issue of appointment continues. And Imam alayhi salam will appoint in two ways. One is by just saying it. The hadith that says, وَأَمَّا الْحَوَادِثُ الْوَاقِعَةِ, in all the current affairs that goes on in the world, فَارْجِعُوا فِيهَا إِلَى رُوَاتِ حَدِيثِنَا. In all these matters that happen, day and night in your life in this world, approach. فَارْجِعُوا فِيهَا, رُجُوع karo. Approach. إِلَى رُوَاتِ حَدِيثِنَا, to the fuqaha. Go and ask for guidance from the fuqaha, right? And he describes, in many hadiths of this subject, he says, I have appointed him hakim over you. That means among the fuqaha, there will be one hakim over the people. We have not been left to fend for ourselves. We have been left with guidance and leadership, right? Now, the only difference is this. In the time of ghaibat, we look at the hadith of the Holy Prophet and Imam alayhi salatu wasalam and say, okay, what kind of person should we follow? You say, okay, it's Ruwati hadithana, fuqaha, which we call today marja taqleed, right? And then they call ayatullah and other things. Mujtahid, faqih, a person who has done ijtihad in Islam, who is an expert in the hadith of Holy Prophet and Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam, carefully studies them, studies Rijal, studies tafsir, history and other sciences. The other way Imam appoints is by a way that we don't see, which is the natural selection that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through the Imam He does. From all the fuqaha in a given time, Allah gives distinction to some of them to a level that they rise. Naturally, taqweenan, they rise because of their piety. Because of the selection by Imam Zaman alayhi salatu wasalam, some of them rise and attain the leadership. And all the aitam of Ali Muhammad, all the yatim and orphans which we are, yatim of Holy Prophet and Ahlul Bayt, they become their guardians. The Marja Taqleed and the Wali al-Faqih become the guardians, Wali aitam, like you have a Wali and Wasi for the yatim. Who is to care for all the mu'mineen around the world and all that's going on around the world? Who is providing leadership today? MashaAllah. We have Wali al-Faqih after the revolution. Then also we have Maraj Taqleed who take care of very important part. You see how our Maraj Taqleed have united us all together. There are so many people, unfortunately, who call themselves Shia. But because they have not submitted themselves to the thoughts and teachings of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam, and we human beings have this problem of ego. When somebody becomes a popular speaker, he has this ego, then he starts saying things that some people like to hear, and then they turn this thing into some kind of business. Unfortunately, that's the worst. A deen which is Mazloom, an ummah, a community that is Mazloom, and yatim of Ahlul Bayt deserves that most learned people should come and provide guidance to the people, because the responsibility laid on their shoulders from Imam Akhir al-Zaman, Imam al-Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam. You sometimes therefore hear, new ideas that never existed neither in the books, neither Quran nor Hadith of Ahlul Bayt. There's somebody saying, in namaz, in salat, you should have a third tashahud, for example. Ashhadu anna la ilaha illallah, ashhadu anna Muhammad rasulullah, ashhadu anna Ali al-Waliyullah. Where did that come from? And I'm just giving example. There's no specific reason for this in this area. We don't have this problem. I'm saying, and then they bring up other issues, divide, fight people, groups against groups, or sometimes just bad mouthing the other Muslims from the member. Come on the member, start this kind of an argument on the member as if there's some real problem here. Like God forbid, some Sunnis are coming arguing with Shias here, some fight going on. There is no such fight. Muslims are all on the same page as far as Tawheed and Risalat and Ma'ad are concerned. We are one community, we are one nation. Isn't that so? So therefore the speaker should promote unity among the people. Yes, Quran talks about the past, that you must take ibrat from the past and must know your roots, because if you associate with yourself with wrong people, your heart will be associating with wrong people. If you don't study carefully the history, what will happen? You will have good feelings for the wrong people. You will think, for example, there are people nowadays, they have sympathies for Yazid ibn Muawiyah. There are people who have sympathies for such people in history. And they cover up and they justify the actions of Yazid ibn Muawiyah, which most Muslims don't, but there are some who do, right? And they have no reason to praise Yazid for anything. There's nothing documented in history. They say Yazid never wanted to kill Imam Hussein, Ibn Ziyad did. And Yazid put the blame on Ibn Ziyad. Well, first of all, there's no such thing in history. And if let's say, if that was the case, Yazid should have punished Ibn Ziyad. He promoted him, gave him medals. Yazid never felt sorry for his actions. Yazid should not have committed the atrocities in Medina after Karbala if he was feeling sorry. His armies were doing that, he never punished the generals who ransacked and committed all the plunder and rape in Medina. He never punished anyone who went ahead and burned down the Kaaba Within those 3 years of the rule of Yazid ibn Muawiyah la'natullah alayhima, 3 major crimes were committed in history that never happened before. Burning of Kaaba, destruction of Medina, and the disrespect and everything that happened for 3 days over there. 1,000 children were born out of all the crimes that were committed, rapes and everything. And the issue of Karbala. Issue of Karbala that has no like in history. So if you do not know history, if you do not study history carefully, you will choose wrong heroes, which will mess up your value system completely upside down. Which means all your ibadat and actions and everything. This is a responsibility. So therefore we will talk about it. But that doesn't mean you badmouth other people and you create issues between them, hatred, mutual animosity. No, as a person seeking the haqq and the truth, you must study history. And yes, member also has this duty. Ahl member have a duty to go into history and carefully open up the facts. Because they all start from the heart, hubb and bughz. If hubb goes to the wrong place, everything else messes up. Because the speech follows the hope of the heart. Love of the heart, you express love from your tongue. And that translates into action. Action in favor of those people who were actually the villains. But we take them as heroes. If we do, that means we have a responsibility. Quran always talks about faqsusil qasas. Talk about history, And so no one can say, why do you guys cry over, so long, something happened so long ago. Well, the same argument you give for Quran. Why does Quran talk about 4,000 years ago? We are talking about 1,000 years ago. Quran is talking about 4,000 years ago, 5,000 years ago. Luqman, when was Luqman? Where are you? Ibrahim alayhi salam, 3,000 years ago. Musa alayhi salam, all of these prophets. Quran talks about Adam alayhi salatu wasalam, 9,000, 10,000. I don't know how long ago was that. So no one can say, why are you worried about history? But Quran is worrying about history. Quran is telling us, don't forget your past. People who forget their past, they repeat history again and again and again. Today, those who are racist and they do not acknowledge their crime of slavery, that they brought slaves from Africa and sold them in markets, human beings, free human beings, turned them into forcibly slaves, and all the rest of the crime done to them and their families, do not acknowledge them. Today they are doing the same thing. They colonialized other countries and took their resources. Then today we have situation right now. Every day you open the TV, you hear that. So I don't have to go into that. Threatening countries, sovereign countries with attacks. We will invade you, destroy you. Well, what? So history repeats itself. If you don't learn, if you don't, go back and acknowledge what you did before, well, alhamdulillah, we didn't do. Now this one more thing I want to add. Please say salawat. They say, oh, you Shias invited Imam Hussain and you killed him. This is okay. The first thing is, okay, we killed him. What about you? If you are saying we killed him, where were you? You don't believe in Imam Hussain alayhi salam? So you don't want to cry on Imam Hussain who was killed by whoever? But it's just a false accusation. There was a small minority in Kufa who were the Shia of Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salatu wasalam. They knew about Hadith al-Ghadir, and they were the people who to write the letters to Imam Hussain, Habib ibn Mazahir, Sulaiman ibn Surad, and there were other Muslim ibn Awsaja, Mukhtar Thaqafi, these were the Shia, who all came together in the house of Sulaiman ibn Surad Khazai in Kufa. 100 or so people, that's what it is. But then, when something happened, a lot of people get excited about it, and all of them started writing letters to Imam Hussain. Come to our city, come to our city. I'm saying that with historical evidence. Muawiyah, before Karbala, he expelled a lot of Shias from Kufa. Expelled them. Changed the demographics of Kufa. After Siffin, the Shamis, they settled in the area around Kufa and Basra. Jang-e-Jamal happened, some came from Jang-e-Jamal and settled in Iraq. Jang-e-Siffin, Battle of Siffin happened, many Shamis who came in the army of Muawiyah, Many of them, they just lived there because after a year and a half, they just settled in the area, Hakamiyat happened, and they had more influence on Kufa than the Shi'as of Kufa. Gradually, the Shi'as were kicked out of the city. Many of them left. Majority of the Kufa had no idea about Hadith al-Qadir. This is what happens when you don't know the facts of history. When you don't know that such a thing as Ghadir happened, where Rasulullah appointed Ali alayhi salatu wasalam, and then Man kuntu mawlahu fahada aliyun mawlahu. What happens? You choose the wrong heroes. And then, to cover up their actions, you accuse other people who were the victims. Victims are sometimes accused for the crime that they did it themselves, right? And their heroes did it. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Facts are not lost. Facts are known. History is not lost and forgotten. It's very well documented. Takes some effort. Takes effort from you and me to value. First of all, value this. Is it an important subject for our life? Of course, we live only once. We live only once. If we don't know what happened after Rasulullah, we will definitely choose the wrong path. You know? We choose the wrong path, we'll have to answer in our grave. First night of grave will be asked, Man Rabbuk, Man Nabiyuk, Man Imamuk. What will you say? Fatima bint Asad, the mother of Amir al-Mu'minin, she is laid in the grave. Rasulullah, after the grave, he gave his own shirt, you know. He used to call Fatima bint Asad, the mother of Amir al-Mu'minin, his own mother. He said, the Ummi. That's how he used to call her. But when she was laid in the grave was closed. The Prophet said Prophet started giving talqeen to her. Now we give talqeen, we don't hear what's happening in the grave. Rasulullah said, now she is being asked, one Rabbuk. She said, Allah, Rabbi. What is your Nabi? Rabbi Rasul Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And then she is being asked, Man Imamuk. Who's your Imam? Now, she is living in the time of Rasulullah. Right? The succession has not actually taken place. And all the children of Fatima bint Asad are great. Ja'far is not an ordinary person. Awlad Abu Talib alayhi salatu wasalam were all Mustafaun, chosen by Allah to support the Holy Prophet. These are the family of Holy Prophet, they were not ordinary people. So she is thinking, Rasulullah said, your son is the next Imam. Not Ja'far, not Aqil, Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Fatima bint Asad is being asked this question. There's no doubt in her deen. She's almost like the mother of the Holy Prophet. So no one is going to be exempted. Everyone will be asked this question. And about the walayat of Siddiqatul Kubra Fatima Az-Zahra Salamullah. So among although it is not in the regular talqeen that we have, the belief in her will be questioned. Because in some riwayat we have that. Then this riwayat mentioned, this part I'll just read. وَلَكَ الْمَوَاقِفُ الْمَشْهُودَةِ وَالْمَقَامَاتُ الْمَشْهُورَةِ وَالْأَيَّامُ الْمَذْكُورَةِ يَوْمَ بَدْرٍ وَيَوْمَ الْأَحْزَابِ إِذْ زَاغَتِ الْأَبْصَارُ وَبَلَغَتِ الْقُلُوبُ الْحَنَاجِرَ وَتَظُنُّونَ بِاللَّهِ الظُّنُونَ هُنَالِكَ ابْتُلِيَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ وَزُلْزِلُوا زِلْزَالًا شَدِيدًا. Right? O Amir al-Mu'mineen, لَكَ الْمَوَاقِفُ الْمَشْهُودَةِ. Your acts of courage, mawaqiful mashhuda, that everybody saw on the earth and the heavens saw what Amir al-Mu'minin did in the battle of Uhud, Badr, Khaybar, Khandaq, all the way up to Hunayn, the last one. There were 79 battles. 27 of them Rasulullah himself took part, Ghazawat. The rest of them were Saraya. Amir al-Mu'minin was the commander. وَلَكَ الْمَوَاقِفُ الْمَشْهُودَةِ وَالْمَقَامَاتُ الْمَشْهُورَةِ. The maqam in every battle was for Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam. وَالْأَيَّامُ الْمَذْكُورَةِ يَوْمَ بَدْرٍ. Badr. Now, in such battles, the Holy Prophet took a bay'at from all the people. Because the bay'at of Rasulullah with the people of Medina was that if somebody attacks Rasulullah, if Medina comes under attack, the people of Medina will defend the Holy Prophet like they defend their father and mother. They will protect the Holy Prophet. Protecting the body of Rasulullah is the first duty. Protecting Amir al-Mu'mineen in his time was the first duty of the Mu'mineen and Muslims. Protecting your leader today is the first duty, obviously. No one can say, well, somebody will protect. No, first duty is yours, right? Anyway, so the battle was such Badr that it brought the Muslims out of the city. They had to come out. So the bay'at had to be taken. Again, you support me? And they gave yes. But the night before the battle, Rasulullah took a special bay'at from the Bani Hashim. Same in Battle of Uhud. The Holy Prophet of Islam took a special bay'at after he took the bay'at from all the people. He took a special bay'at from the Bani Hashim, Ali Abdul Muttalib. You know the first Dawah Zul Ashira, the first Dawah, the Rasulullah invited Bani Hashim. Because this was a class Allah created in this world to support the Holy Prophet, surround him, protect him. They were the closest of them. Their full commitment was Rasulullah. Other people were not like that. Sometimes they come and go. They become believer, Iman has two levels, mustaqar wa mustawda. Some people Iman is firm, stay the same. Some they come and go. One day they wake up with Iman, at night they have lost it. They wake up again to istighfar. Those awlad Abdul Muttalib were not like those people, regular people. They were people chosen by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to support and give their sacrifice for Islam. Therefore, the night before the Battle of Uhud, Holy Prophet, after taking his bay'at from the Bani Hashim, he asked Hamza, his uncle, especially before him, and told him that tomorrow you will be going very far away from me. As soon as he heard, he fell down on the uncle of Holy Prophet, fell down on the feet of Rasulullah. He knew that he's being shaheed tomorrow, right? The Holy Prophet told him, when you go and the angels will come to ask you, tell them who's your Lord, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Tell them who's your Nabi, I am. Tell them who's your Imam after me, Ali ibn Abi Talib. They knew it very well, but they had to be reminded. And Rasulullah mentioned his daughter Fatima Al-Zahra Waliyatullah Al-Kubra. Right? These are the beliefs that you must enrich through learning, through tawassul, through ziyarah, through discussing like Majalis al-Azhar. These are all occasions to enrich our faith. Be educated about it, and not just educated, heart should be connected with them. In the end, if it doesn't sink into the heart, it's useless. The heart, the engine, the heart, the spirit of a person should live. The heart should beat with the love of Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wasalam. Allahumma salli.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad.
Wa yawm al-ahzab. Such critical situation, Amir al-Mu'mineen was given the duty. Yawm al-Ahzab, when all the confederate, the whole army, 10,000 strong army of all the united army of kuffar against Muslims. They came, surrounded Medina, besieged. Salman gave the idea to Holy Prophet. They dug a trench on one side of Medina. They had never seen an army this size in history. Amir al-Mu'mineen, we've heard about it. Umar ibn Abdul Amr ibn Abdul came to this side of the trench. He says, Hal min Mubarak, anyone to face me? Ali alayhi salam got up. No one had the courage to stand, to go out and fight him, because it was definite death. Anyone standing by Amr ibn Abdul means death. Amir al-Mu'mineen, young soldier of Islam, he gets up 3 times until Rasulullah puts his amama on his head. Right? He raised his hand. Oh Allah, in such battle you took so and so became shaheed. In Uhud, Hamza became shaheed. Right? In Mawta, Zayd ibn Ja'far al-Tayyar. And today, oh Allah, don't take Ali from us. So much Allah, the Holy Prophet had stored that this is the future of Islam in the hands of Ali. And Ali and Bani Hashim and Hamza, these are people who were the first to come out and give sacrifice. Zulzilu, this says, the battle of Ahzab, Yawm al-Ahzab, is zaghat al-absar. The eyes were all confused. وَبَلَغَتِ الْقُلُوبِ الْحَنَاجِرِ. People like as if they were dying out of fear. وَتَظُنُّونَ بِاللَّهِ الظُّنُونَ. Oh Allah, why you put me in this situation? Oh Allah, you promised us victory. Everything is coming to an end. Where are you? You are not helping us. People were having doubts about Tawheed and shirk, and they were becoming mushrik. Right? تَظُنُّونَ بِاللَّهِ ظُنُونَ هُنَالِكَ ابْتُلِيَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. This was the test for the believers. وَزُلْزِلُوا زِلْزَالًا شَدِيدًا. They were shaken up. زِلْزَالًا شَدِيدًا. وَإِذْ يَقُولُ الْمُنَافِقُونَ. And the hypocrites came out and said, وَالَّذِينَ فِي قُلُوبِهِمْ مَرَضٌ. Those who had sickness in their hearts, they came out, they started speaking openly against Rasulullah and against Islam and Quran and everything. مَا وَعَدَنَا اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ إِلَّا غُرُورًا. Allah and Rasul gave false promises to you guys. You guys are believing in something that has no basis. It's all fake, na'uzubillah. Right? The position that the Holy Prophet gave to Ali as the commander of his army. Now some people have problem with this. Say Ali was too young. And I fail to understand why do they have problem with Ali being young when Rasulullah has no problem with Ali being young. Ali alayhi salam, 10 years old, come to Rasulullah accepts and calls him as the first believer in me is Ali. Rasulullah appoints Ali alayhi salam as the commander of his army. He has no problem. He sends him with Surah, Bara'at to Makkah. And Ali alayhi salam, in some riwayat, we find Ali alayhi salam says that, compare Ali with Prophet Musa alayhi salam. Musa alayhi salam had killed one man among the Al Fir'aun, right? One man. When Allah said, go to Fir'aun, he said, give me a brother, give me support. وَلَهُمْ عَلَيَّ ذَنْبٌ. I have killed one person. They consider me as guilty of something. In real terms, they're not guilty. Even the person who was killed was deserved this. But they have. So for one person being killed, Musa alayhi salam, it's not easy for him to walk into that city, Misr, right? Ali alayhi salatu wasalam in all the battle has not left one family in Quraysh where Ali alayhi salam has not brought down somebody who was an enemy of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But in the same city, Ali alayhi salatu wasalam takes Suratul Bara, which is openly condemning the kuffar and giving them an ultimatum that they must leave this area. They have 4 months. That's it. After that, anyone found will be killed. And Ali alayhi salam says in the hadith we find that after I read this surah, I came down from Kaaba, and I was walking and they were all, like I'm thinking in my mind like the mu'jiza of Asa of Musa alayhi salatu wasalam. He put the sea was split into two, right? All the crowd was split. Nobody dare come near Ali alayhi salatu wasalam. This was the personality of Amir al-Mu'mineen, and we are the Shia of Amir al-Mu'mineen, Muhib of Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam. Today we see, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Beliefs make a lot of difference. One Christian family just run into Abu Abdullah al-Hussein on their way. They were going, just got married. Abdullah ibn Wahab, right? Or Wahab ibn Abdullah. And they have one meeting with Imam Hussein alayhi salam. He becomes a Muslim and Shia and a follower of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Forgets about whatever plans he had, joins Imam Hussein alayhi salam, comes to Karbala, right? Few days later, he's among the Shuhada of Karbala. A person who lived his life as a Christian becomes a Muslim. Few days later, he's among the Shuhada of Karbala. When we go to Karbala to do ziyarat, Wahab is buried right there inside the Zaril of Shuhada. This is how important beliefs are. We don't take seriously, we will be making a lot of mistakes in our life. And it has to be enriched. The same place that the Holy Prophet gave to Ali, Imam Hussein alayhi salam gave to Abbas ibn Amir al-Mu'mineen. Abbas had similar position. Now consider Battle of Badr, Battle of Uhud. When they were ambushed, Muslims were attacked from all sides. Because of the betrayal of the archers on the hill, they left their positions. The kuffar came from the other side. Khalid bin Walid, right? La'natullah alayhi. Came and attacked Muslims from behind. There was a chaos. They left. Everybody left. They all ran away. The Holy Prophet is being defended by Amir al-Mu'minin Ali. And there was 1 or 2 women also who stayed, and 1 or 2 men. Ali was the main person, the only one to stay, then one or two, few others joined. Nasiba was the woman there. Her son was killed, right? And perhaps her husband also got killed. She had come for supplies or something. When she saw everybody running away, one of the people running away, she asked him to give me your sword. And she stood by the Prophet and fought those people who were attacking the Rasulullah. These are heroes of history. And she survived. Ali alayhi salam stayed with the Prophet. He broke two swords. In the end, Jibreel brought this sword. Rasulullah gave his sword, Dhul-Fiqar, to Ali alayhi salam. La fata illa Ali, la sayf illa Dhul-Fiqar. But there's no, Imam Hassan said to his brother, La yawma ka yawmika ya Aba Abdullah. No day is like the day of Karbala. Neither Badr nor Uhud, no other day in history is like the day of Ashura. When 30,000 people come against. These are the army, official army. Then there were a lot more coming. For greed or fear or whatever be the case. Now Abbas is protecting the family. All their hopes in the end are with Abbas. For their protection, for their safety, right? For the water, for children, for anything. And the day of Ashura comes, the Ashab, many of them die in the morning because the arrows came like a cloud. Like a cloud, as it is described in the Maqatil. You see, they came like a cloud. They fell upon the army. 40,000-50,000 strong army, everybody is shooting an arrow. What happens to a small camp of 100 or so people? We say 72, perhaps a few more, 100 and few. 40 of them were killed. Now for the rest of the day, why did they drag this battle so long? I mean, you could say, some people say, well, Imam Hussein chose this way. But actually, they wanted to kill them one by one. They wanted to cause more anguish and pain for Imam Hussein. They wanted to choose them, qatl sabr, when you make someone more thirsty, hungry, and cause more pain and injure someone, cause more pain and anguish and everything, no help coming from anywhere. Each body has to be picked up and brought. And the next one goes, and Imam alayhi salatu wasalam saw himself, now all the Al-Zahra are gone. Then Bani Hashim prepared themselves one by one. Awlad Aqil, Muslim ibn Aqil, his brother, his sons, Ali Ja'far, other people who were there with Awlad Abdul Muttalib, Abu Talib, who were there in the camp of Abi Abdullah, one by one. Now Abbas has 3 brothers over there. He says, I want you all to go. I want you all to go. I want to see that you were sincere to Imam Hussein. He's been entrusted a role, a responsibility by his mother. Abbas wants to make sure. Now who is Abbas? When Amir al-Mu'minin is passing away, he gives the hands of everyone in the hands of Hassan and Mustafa, except the hand of Abbas. And then his mother comes and says, what is it, Amir al-Mu'minin? My son has done something wrong. You have not given his hand to Hassan. He said, your son Abbas, my son Abbas is for Hussein ibn Ali. For the day of Ashur, he will be there for him. And this is why Ali alayhi salam got married with Fatima Kilabiyya, Bani Kilab. Why he said to Aqil, I want to marry someone who will bring me sons who are courageous, Shuja. And he said the best Qabila in this area, in Arab, who has produced more fighters and strong men is Bani Kilab. And he chose Fatima Kilabiyya. She comes to this house, she brings 4 sons for Amir al-Mu'minin. She was called Baneen. After the battle of Karbala, she used to say, don't call me Baneen because I have no sons anymore. Abbas now finds himself, his brothers are killed before his eyes. Now his heart is now filled, he's full, he doesn't need anything. His dunya has no value before him. The only thing he has, he sees that, he says, oh, Abu Abdullah, would you allow me? Now from all day, Abbas wants to go and fight. But Imam said, Abbas, stay with me. Everyone relies on you. You are the flag bearer of my army. Do not leave us. Now so much, if you see this thing about Imam Hussein, how much, he couldn't see Abbas going away from him. Anytime Abbas would go and fight, Imam Hussein was worrying. worrying until Abbas would come back. Abbas, stay close to me. Ali Akbar was, and many others were killed. At one point, Abbas said, "You allow me." He said, "You are the flag bearer of my army." He says, "Ya Aba Abdullah, the army is not anymore." But then Imam says, "Okay, go and give your final wida with the family." He goes inside and sees Sakina and the children, they bring these mashkiza, these leather bags to Abbas and say, Sakina comes to Abbas and says, "We are thirsty here, uncle, you will not do anything to bring water for these children." And these children are all flocked around Sakina says, "If your uncle brings water, would you also give us?" And they are thirsty. See, one of the reasons Imam had to bring Ali Al-Asghar outside later on was because, you see, if you have a small child in your family who is sick, everyone is worried about it. Now you have so many children over there. Finally, he takes the bag and he gets on his horse and goes towards the river. Now here, bring your minds, bring your hearts to Karbala. 4,000 have been protecting the river. Abbas alayhi salam, he doesn't worry about it. He goes right through them and goes all the way, gets close to the water, they come back and attack him. So 6 or 7 times he gets into a fight with this army, until they see that they are no match for his courage and shuja'at, so he goes into the water and he fills up the water. Now he starts to fight his way back through this army, and Umar ibn Sa'd says, "Don't let him get the water back to camp, because if Hussein gets the water, if he gets a drink of water, none of you will be able to fight him. He will destroy you all completely. Don't let this water get to the camp." Now Abbas stands there, he says, "Umar ibn Sa'd, everyone is killed. All the companions of Hussein, his family members are killed. Now this water is for the family of Abi Abdullah, for the little children, for Ali Al-Asghar, for the women. This water is going to go to the camp to them. Let them, you provide them." Now people are watching to say what their commander will say. He said, "Abbas, if all the world was water and it was in our command, we will not give one drop of it to you, Hussein, until you accept the bay'at of Yazid ibn Muawiyah." When he heard this Abbas, this ghairat of Iman, the son of Ali ibn Abi Talib, he starts to attack these people. Now he fights very courageously, they cannot stop him. So he announces that shower him with arrows. Now arrows come from everywhere. From everywhere. And they're very cowardly, they attack him from the right side, he loses his right hand. And he says, "Wallahi in qata'tumu yamini, inni uhami abadan an dini." He said, "Even if you cut my right hand, I will continue to defend my faith." The same raja, similar he recited when his left hand was cut. Now his hands are cut, right? But he is struggling. He's holding on to this bag because this water is his life. His water is his iman. His water is ghairat. Is everything. And he's struggling through this. But then they attack him, right? An arrow comes right into his bag. And water starts flowing from it. When he is standing watching, the whole reason is lost. When they come, they attack him, smash his head with that big thing, iron ball, which smash his head. See, Aba Abdullah al-Islam is losing Abbas. Now Abbas says, "Ya Aba Abdullah, Ya akhi, adrik akhak." Brother, come and help your brother. Imam Hussain al-Islam, when he hears this call, he cries loudly, "Baka bukan shadeed." Loud cry. Just this riwayat that Imam Hussain, when he heard that your Imam cried so loudly in Karbala, is big enough of a musibat for a Shia. He said, in front of all this army, your Imam had to cry so loudly. How much love is between Hussain and Abbas. And he's walking, he's going towards the riverside where Abbas has fallen. And he said, "Al-an inkassara dhahri wa qallat hilati, O Abbas." And he gets close to them. Now these people who are flocked around, Abbas has no hand to defend himself now. Now they're killing him. They're torturing him. They're stabbing him, and all of this going on. And when they see the wound, most of it came on his head. Abbas's head was crushed by them. because he couldn't defend himself. Imam Hussein comes close and said, Hussein is coming! And they start running away. Imam says, Aina tafirrun? Waqad qadaltum akhi wa ibna abi. He says, where are you running away? You have killed my brother and the son of my father. Right? And Imam Hussein comes next to Abbas. Now this is a scene Imam Hussein watches us like Zainab watches from Talle Zainabia, watches her brother being killed, how he was surrounded from all sides. Imam Hussein saw a similar state of Abbas over there. And he tries to pick up the head of Abbas. He's like, Abbas removes his head, moves it back to the ground. Abbas, why don't you let me hold your head? He said, you are next to me, but when your time comes, who is going to help you? Imam said, come Abbas, let me take you back. Abbas said, no, leave me here. He says, because I had promised my death has come. And also I had promised Sakina that I will bring her water. And I could not do that. So don't take me back. I feel ashamed of myself. And Abbas, Allah wanted Abbas to be buried, have a haram like Abi Abdullah next to him because it's Babul Hawaij. Abbas alayhi salatu wasalam, his spirit, his ruh, it went up into the sky, and Abbas and Imam Hussein had to come back with his alam which was stained in his blood. It was completely dripped with blood. He brought it. Now Sakina is standing at the door of the tent with all these children, and she sees this alam, in the hand of her father. Where is my uncle?